perfect mess is my perfect mess. Perfect mess is my perfect mess.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Perfect Mess Podcast. I'm your host, Ray Molina, and this is episode 37, Surviving You. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're enjoying your weekend, long weekend. Please remember what the weekend is about. Memorial Day. So shout out to anybody who has family that's served in the military. As most of you guys know, I have a lot of family that served in the military, and I am um, I'm very fond of the military. And as most of my family were Marines, Rangers, you name it. I've got a couple of that were in the Army as well, and some Air Force. So all across the board, I've got family in the service. So this holiday means a lot to me. So hopefully you're enjoying the weekend. Um, I have definitely enjoyed the weekend. This weekend's always special to me because it's my son, Jaden's birthday. He just turned 10 on the 27th, and yeah, man, it was a good birthday. It was really good. I'm gonna catch you guys up with what's been going on over the last couple of days since the last episode, and try not to hold you too long today. Um, so yeah, again, let me catch you up. Jaden's birthday, my youngest, he just turned 10. His birthday just passed, and gosh, man, I was really happy. uh, this is his first actual birthday since COVID. And if you remember, I believe I did talk about it on the podcast last year because I had started this podcast in April. So, yeah, I believe I did touch on it last year. Last year was tough because that was around the time we were supposed to be coming out of the pandemic, and they said, "Hey, we're going to be letting up the restrictions, and we should be good." And then our county actually said, "Hey, we're going to extend it another 30 days," literally 3 days before his birthday. And I had to have a talk with him about that, and he broke down crying. And I remember I had to pull over at a Safeway parking lot and get out of the car and sit him on my lap and talk to him and console him because he was just heartbroken. He had not seen his friends. He was hoping to have a party so he could be around all his friends, and that just wasn't possible because of all the restrictions. So last year was pretty hard. We made the best of it. We did have one of uh, those drive-by birthdays, and some of the kids ended up, staying and playing with them and whatnot. But last year was just tough. So this year, I could see it in him. He knew we were going to be able to have a party. He knew we were going to be able to have friends and go somewhere to where he could enjoy himself. And he was excited. He was counting down the hours. He was literally telling me, "Hey, Dad, 19 hours to my birthday. Hey, Dad, 8 more hours to my birthday. Hey, Dad, 4 more hours to my birthday." And I'm like, "You need to go to sleep." Um, but he was so excited, and when I woke up in the morning, and by the way, this was the first time, oof, don't get emotional here. This was the first time since my divorce that my my son woke up to me on his birthday. Um, Man, I just thought about that. Yeah, he was. They stayed the night with me. They had their night with me happened to fall on his birthday, and when I woke up, I called him and he came to my room and he laid with me and I sang happy birthday to him in my bed as we laid there. And we always do these little morning cuddles, and he likes when I sing happy birthday to him because I have a little special way that I sing it. And he had school that day, um, but he was okay because he knew it was his birthday and he knew we were gonna go and do a little something on his birthday, and then Friday was going to be his party, and then we were gonna basically it was going to be his weekend. So um, yeah, we had a good time. We did a little something for him on, did a little shopping and whatnot. Um, on his birthday, which was Thursday, and then we took him to get it. He loves. I love the fact that he's 10 and he still loves stuffed animals. So we went to Build a Bear. He loves Build a Bear. He got a new monkey. He's a huge, huge monkey fan. He has so many monkey stuffed animals. It's not even funny. They're all over the place. So he loves monkeys. So he got a new monkey. He named it Bucky. So Bucky is the new monkey that we have. And the cool thing was he they put a little voice box in his hand. So when you press it, it can talk. But what was awesome about that is he could record his voice, and then they installed it. So uh, what did it say? He said, he recorded, "What's up, bruh?" So I said, "You really want the monkey to say that?" And he's like, "Yeah." So now when you press his monkey, oh, excuse me, when you press Bucky's hand, it says, "What's up, bruh?" So that's Bucky. That's one of his gifts, and then we also got him a Nintendo Switch. Um, and a bunch of other stuff. And we went and got some food, and kind of we kept it kind of small on his birthday because he had school the next day as well. And then Friday we did a little rock and jump, where you can jump on the trampolines in this building and play dodgeball and basketball and all this stuff. And we had a good group of his friends there, plenty of food, plenty of cake, you name it. It was a really good time. I just loved the fact that they were able to all hang out with each other, and seeing the kids running around and having a blast. Um, it was great to see. I was very, very happy about that. Excuse me. I'm drinking some green tea, by the way, which is, again, I'm recording this at night. So, tea. I usually drink coffee, but I'm trying to get better at drinking coffee at night, so I don't stay up too long. Um, Anyways, so his birthday went really well. He got a lot of gifts. He got a lot of PlayStation cards. So he's rolling in the money. And then as always, he always gets a lot of cash. Um, One of my gifts to him was $100 to invest, and we did that. And then his grandmother gave him $50 to invest, and then he got another $20 to invest. This is aside from all the other money he got from everybody. Um, but we've been teaching him about investing. We've been teaching Jordan about investing, and most of you guys have known that, because I share that with you guys all the time. Um, Now, with that being said, uh, we I got him into crypto. Most of you guys know, and he's invested in a couple of small coins that at a low risk, and just to get him excited. And I say that because um, I I put up a post with my son, um, and it was a graphic that I made of him kind of holding a couple of crypto coins, and it said "Happy Birthday," and it said invested and diversified at age 10. And it was just to show people that I'm getting my kids interested in investing. It wasn't really about crypto. It was just them being involved, at such a young age. But I got a message from a family member, of course, who I love to death. But he was, it was kind of a downer because he had mentioned terrible choices. And then he approached me, or I approached him, and I erased the comment because I didn't want that to be on my son's birthday post. And I DM'd him and I said, "Hey, I said, I'm all ears." I said, "They're not terrible choices to me because I've made some pretty good money with these choices." And I said, "But I'm all ears. If you've got some tips, or if you got some ideas or some things that I should look out for, I'm all ears. But I'm definitely not new to this." And I said, and I just I deleted the message because I don't want that on my son's post. But let's talk. And he just basically, he was under the impression that I wasn't well informed, like most people aren't. There's a lot of people that aren't informed on crypto, and they kind of just jump in with the idea that they're just going to get rich really fast. I'm not one of those. But he was under the impression that I was doing that and that I was maybe passing bad information and all this stuff to my son and da da da. And I said, hey, I understand what you're saying. I'm not one of them. This is not something where I think it's a get rich scheme or a pyramid scheme or whatever you want to call it. And I'm just going to think I'm going to become a millionaire overnight. These are coins that I have spoke to with friends of mine who have made an obscene amount of money and who have been advising me. And I said, and the other thing is, I don't throw college money or savings money at any of this. The only money that I throw at this is money that I consider gone. So, for instance, if I throw $100 at it, that's $100 that I consider gone. I don't worry about it no more. It's not $100. If I lose it, I can't pay my rent or I can't pay my car note or I can't buy my kids clothes or whatever it is. So when I put money into these things, these investments, which are not only just crypto coin, they're just whatever, stocks, real estate, whatever it is, I consider that money gone. It's money that I'm not worried about. So I explained that to him and he said, okay. He goes, I hear you. He goes, my bad. Um, I just, I'm, I hear a lot of people just jumping into this and they're not informed and they're just throwing all this money at it and da 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 da. He goes, and I've been in crypto for a long time. I've made a good amount of money, but it's so popular now. People are just making bad investments. And he goes, and I hate when people say, oh, it's investment and diversified. He goes, coins are not the same as stock and real estate. And I already understood that, but I made one point, and if for anybody listening right now, and you have kids and you're wanting to teach your kids to invest, what I told him was this: most kids, my kids' age, they've been investing since Jaden since 9, and Jordan since he was 11. He's turning 12. So most kids these days, they don't care about investing. They just want to spend their money. They get money, they want to spend it. They get money, they want to go to the store. They get money, they want to go to Target. They get money, they want to put it towards Fortnite or PlayStation, whatever the heck they're doing. They don't want to invest. They don't understand that. They don't care. But crypto was the first thing that my kids understood, meaning not understood, the way it works, but they get it because they're seeing it everywhere. So it sparks some interest because they're seeing it on TikTok. There's a song that's on YouTube that YouTubers are singing that they know all the words for. That's about Dogecoin. They know Elon Musk, so they like the meme coin. So it's kind of sparked some interest in them. Now, if that's what it is going to interest them and get them started and spark the interest for investing, then that's where I'm going to take it because I need to start somewhere that to get them interested. And then once they're in, then I can start teaching them about stocks, about real estate, about all these other ways to make money work for them. But my in was crypto because it seemed fun to them. Now, I know it's not a game. I know you can lose your ass in crypto, but that is if you're throwing your 401k, your life saving, junior's college money, you're throwing it all in there. That's not something I'm doing. I'm being very smart and I'm only putting money towards crypto and stocks and whatnot that I consider money that is gone once I give it and once I invest it. Now, that's what I'm doing with my kids and they're interested, they're hyped about it. I'm telling them, hey, this is a long-term thing. Don't think that, hey, by next year you're going to have thousands of dollars. That may not happen. We may lose that 50 bucks you just threw at that. But you're learning, you're interested, and you're seeing how your money's working, and that's what I want to teach you now. So by the time you've gotten older, you've already been in the game for a little while. Now you're learning about stocks. Now you're learning about real estate. So it opens the door to all these other things that are more substantial. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I was telling them. I said, my kids are interested. I'm excited about that. So that's where I'm starting. And for what it's worth, if you're listening, this is a great way to at least find out if your kids are interested or get them involved. All right. So one of my gifts to him was $100. So we took $100 and we split it into two. We got a couple of we invested in two different cryptos, and then like I said, his grandma gave him some money, and he got some other money that he invested. So I just think it's amazing that he's excited about one of those gifts being money to invest. So I'm happy about that. If you want to get your kid involved in early on in investing and all that, this is a great way to do it. Like I said, listen to what I'm saying. Don't throw all your money. Take 10, 20, $30, throw it in there and just show them how it works. And if you don't know, try it yourself and you can learn. Don't throw the house at it. Throw a couple of dollars here and there and just watch it work. That's all I'm saying. Um, so yeah, so that was one of his gifts, and the cool thing is now if you ask him, he says, I diversified my portfolio, which is awesome. Yeah, it's just crypto right now, but he has money in three different crypto coins right now, and he understands that he's got money working in three different areas now, which is really good, and I'm happy about that. Again, I opened the door, and now we're gonna slowly grow into other things. So that was the goal for that. So that was part of the birthday. We capped off this birthday on my end with a trip to the beach. We went to not a new beach, but a beach that we haven't been to, Panther Beach, which is out by where is it? Gosh, out by Shark Fin Cove. Um, Davenport, California. So we drove out to Panther Beach, which was great. We were trying to avoid all the crowds because of the weekend, the holiday weekend, and we did the right thing because I think there was like 4 or 5 little groups of people at this beach that you had to hike down into, and we had a blast. So we were there. The kids brought the football. They were able to line out a big football field in the sand, put rocks as the end zone, and we got a little football game going. A couple of other guys jumped in, and I was playing permanent quarterback and throwing touchdowns and having a blast. Um, and then my little guy, he wanted to bury me, like he wanted to bury somebody. Nobody wanted to get buried, and I could see it was kind of bugging him. They dug this hole, and he's like, "No one wants to get buried," and that's kind of when dad has to step in, and so I stepped in. I said, look, you can bury me. He's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, come on. So I got in there and I let them bury me and I just laid in there and they took pictures and whatnot. And, it's just kind of something, hey, whatever's going to make the weekend great for him, I'm all for it. So I just jumped in there and let them bury. They had a good time, but it was great. We had a good time at the beach. Again, that's Panther Beach out in Davenport, California, right by Santa Cruz. And yeah, we had a good time. So if you're ever in that area, check that beach out. It's very nice. It's secluded. You got to kind of hike to get there, but I like that because that means most people won't go there because it's just too much work, and most people don't want to do a lot of work to get somewhere. Mm. So moving on, I had again. I always reference my Instagram, right? Follow me on Instagram at it's Ray Molina. I shared a story the other day uh, of me leaving my kids' mom's house, and I was sitting in my car, and it was about 10:30 at night, and there was a police helicopter circling the area, which is a common thing because the part of San Jose we live is just very, it's unfortunately it's very active. Um, but I never hear them speaking on the loudspeaker. And this time I actually heard somebody speaking. There was an officer saying something on the loudspeaker, and I wasn't really tripping. And then I was sitting in my car, and I'm like, I should probably roll down my window to see what they're talking about because what if there's a guy running around with a gun or something, and here I am like a sitting duck just sitting in my car. Um, so I roll my window down and I can barely hear him. And he circles around and he says, "We're looking for an elderly Asian man standing about 5'4" in his 80s. He's wearing a red sweater or red jacket. He's been missing. If you see him, if you find him, please call 911." And they just keep repeating that. And I'm like, okay. So I call my kid because I'm still parked in front of the house. I call my kid's mom and I said, hey, she goes, I hear them. What are they saying? So I tell her, and she goes, okay, I'll keep an eye out. I'll check my ring cam in case I see anything. And I'm like, all right, cool. You guys be cool. I'm about to leave. So I leave, right? Uh, I literally take a right, come down and come to the light. And there's people that always run this red light. So I kind of poked my head out when it was a green light, and I looked to my left just to make sure there was no cars running because you can't really see around this corner, and no cars were coming. So I hit the gas to leave, and as I turned left, I could see there was a little Asian man sitting on the corner with his legs crossed and his hands on top of his knees, just sitting on the corner by himself. And mind you, this is now about 10:40, 10:45, and I go, gosh, that looks like the guy they were just talking about. And I'm like, you know what? I think it is. So I speed to the next light. I run the red light, flip a U-turn, and speed all the way back. And I park my car on the corner, blocking, the walkway. And I put my hazard lights on. And I get out of the car and I look at him and I go, "Are you okay?" And he looks at me and he's sitting there and he starts saying something in Vietnamese, really calm. And but I could tell he was crying. And I go, hey, you're okay. I knew he couldn't understand me, but I was kind of patted his shoulder and said, "You're going to be okay." I said, "Stay right here, okay?" And the helicopter was circling, so I have this little app where it kind of does the little codes with the light, the flashlight on the phone. It blinks, so it kind of tells, so I set it to where it notifies the police helicopter that we need help. So I did that, and then I called 911, and the dispatch got on the phone with me, and she was like, "You found him?" I said, "Yeah, we're right on the corner of this street and that street, and I'm here. My hazard lights are on. I'm in a little black car." And they were like, "Okay, cool." And then that's when I seen the helicopter that was watching my light. He, like, it's crazy because I've never seen a helicopter do this, but he flipped a U-turn in the air so fast and almost nosedived towards where I'm at. And he's like, "Officers are on the way. Good job, good work." And before I could even say thank you, I mean, there were cops flying from everywhere, getting in to where I was at. Uh, and that was him. Cop gets out of the car and he's like, "Hey, uh, we've been looking for this guy for literally about 3 hours, man." He goes, "How'd you find him?" I go, I just told him everything that I told you. I drove, I came out, saw him on the corner, uh, thought it was him, flipped a U-turn over there, came back, and sure enough, he's like, "Man," he goes, "Man, great." He goes, "How did you know? What helped? Did the helicopter doing the announcements over the microphone, did that help?" I go, "That's what got me because I didn't know what you guys were doing, but that's what helped me. That's how I found out." And he said, so he called the dispatch. He goes, "Hey, tell the chopper that the announcements helped. That's how this guy found him." So so I was like, "Right on, man." He goes, "Cool." He's like, "Hey, man, this guy, he's got to take medication. He's been robbed before. People mess with him, and he gets lost all the time. But this was one of the times where he actually got really lost and they couldn't find him anywhere. Usually they can find him." And I said, "Man, I'm just glad to help." And so that was that. The ambulance came. I'm sure they take him just to make sure nothing happened to him, that he's okay. And I left. You know, as I was as I found this guy and the cops were there, I had texted my kid's mom and I said, "Hey, found him." And she was like, "Wait, what?" And I go, "Yeah, found him." She goes, "No, you didn't." And I go, "Hold on." And I flipped my camera and I took a picture of, you could see partial of my face and then you could see him behind me. And I sent it to her and she was like, "Oh my God." She's like, "You really found him?" She's like, "That is so crazy." And I said, "Yeah." I go, "Nuts, right?" And she goes, "Wow, there was a reason why you left at that time. Like, I believe that." And I go, "No, you're 100% correct. Like, I believe that." And I do. I believe that that's God's work, not mine. I believe that there's a reason why I literally had my car started and was just sitting in my car. I don't even know why. Actually, I think I was listening to the tail end of the post game interviews with the Giants because they had just beat the Dodgers, and I was just sitting in my car with the radio down a little bit listening. And I think there was a reason why I stayed there because then I started hearing the policeman talk, and I rolled down my window. Um, I believe that God works that way, and I believe that there's a reason why I took off the way I did and got that information, drove off, and boom, found him. I firmly believe that there is a reason why. I believe that God was using me to do that. Um, it definitely wasn't me, because I just we're humans. We're goofballs. We're not that intelligent. I know a lot of people like to think humans are intelligent. We aren't. We're idiots. Um, but I believe that God used me, and I acknowledged that, and immediately I said thank you. I said thank you, Lord. Um, so for non-believers, I get it. You're probably skeptical about that, but I'm not a non-believer, and I firmly believe in that. So I just felt completely awesome that I found this guy and was able to help out. Good deed, right? Um, anyways, right after that, I went to a gas station because I was gonna Uber drive for a little while. So I went to the gas station, right, and I was gonna grab me an energy drink. By the way, I gotta stop drinking energy drinks. I got back on energy drinks, and I need to stop doing that. But they work, and sometimes I'm just not in the mood for coffee, and I just need that energy drink. I just need that taste. I don't know what it is, man. But I got to get off them. But anyways, I went to the gas station to grab an energy drink, and when I pulled in, I got out of my car, and anybody who knows me, I have a wicked sixth sense. Like I know when I'm being watched, I know when I'm being looked at, and I know when something is about to happen. And I get out of my car, and I see this truck that's in one of the stalls. They pull out, and I could see somebody look at me, and then I made eye contact with them. But the way they looked at me, I was like, that was kind of odd. And I'm like, whatever. So I walked to the window, grabbed me my energy drink, and I put it on the thing. And the guy through the window is like, okay. And I put it in the little drawer, and he charges me. And as I do that, the guy behind me goes, I hear someone go, is that Player Ray? And in my head, I'm like, man, this better not be no BS after something so positive. This better not be no BS. I don't need no BS right now. And I turned to, I mean, because people don't really call me that no more. I mean, the last time I put out an album that I went by that name, like legitimately was using that name, was probably 2015. It was literally, gosh, 6 years ago, something like that. Yeah, 6, 7 years ago, something like that. So I was already skeptical by them calling me that, and I turned around, and it's two guys sitting in a pickup truck, and I look at them, and I'm like, they're like, "Hey, what's up?" I go, "Yeah, what's going on, man?" And they, "Hey, what's up, man?" And I'm like, without, I'm trying to be cool, and I'm like, "Yeah, do I know you guys?" And he's like, "Yeah." I go, "I mean, you look familiar, but I can't place your face." He's like, "Nah, you don't really know me." And he goes, "Hey," the driver goes, "No, but I like your music, bro." And I was like, "Okay, oh, okay." Oh, I was like, "You heard my music?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm still skeptical because I'm like, I don't know. You just don't. The way I grew up, I'm very careful approaching people, and when people approach me, you just don't know what their intentions are. So I was like, okay. I was like, right on, man. Right on. He goes, yeah, I always see you on Instagram, man. He goes, you and your kids are always working out and running. And he goes, man, I think that's dope, man. It's like, it's inspiring. And I go, oh, you're on my Instagram. He goes, yeah, man. He goes, yeah, I like what you do, man. It's everything you're doing is super inspiring. He goes, we don't know each other. He goes, I saw your face. I told my boy, and my boy goes, oh, I remember him. He raps. He goes, yeah, I'm gonna go back around and say what's up. He goes, I just wanted to meet you, man. I just wanted to say what's up. He goes, we have a mutual friend. I know, so and so, and I was like, oh yeah, I just talked to him. He goes, yeah, man. And then the guy in the passenger seat was like, yeah, bro. He goes, I got a son too, man. He just turned this age. I go, yeah, my son too, and kind of connected on that. And he goes, hey man, you seem like a really cool dude. He goes, like your music. Anyways, just want to say hi, man, and introduce ourselves and just meet you, man. Have a good night. It was a pleasure meeting you. And I said, you guys too, man. You guys take care. And then they left. Um, and to be honest with you, man, from where I'm from, on that part of town, interactions don't always go that way. They just don't. There's usually some friction. There's usually some old like tension from like back when you were doing what I was doing back in the day, and then you're like, gosh, here we go. Like I got to deal with this now. So it was so good for that interaction to be so positive. And it kind of it's starting to make me realize, like, man, more and more people are starting to notice what I'm doing with my kids and the other kids that I coach and mentor, and they're paying attention, and things are starting to grow. Um, and I think eventually I got to kind of get away from being so on edge and protective. I don't know if I'm ever going to stop being protective, but maybe I'll ease up for being on edge, because that's just something that it's an instinct that I have, and immediately go into defensive mode and kind of ready for whatever. You know what I mean? But it was cool that all of that happened in a matter of probably about 20 minutes. And I had told them, they were like seeing all the cops. They're like, "What happened over there?" And I told them what happened. They're like, "Oh man, that's cool. You found them." And so it was cool. I actually had to go back and pay for my Monster Energy drink. And the guy was looking at me. I'm like, "My bad, dude." And he thought I actually already paid for it. He gave it to me. I said, "No, I didn't. I didn't pay for it." I said, "I ran off, but let me pay for it." So, anyways, I paid for it, and then I got my night going, man. Which was it was a good night. um, so that was that. And I don't know, man. It's always cool meeting people, and seeing and hearing the things that inspire them, uh, that I share, not only on the podcast but on my Instagram. Because it's not always people that you think. You sometimes you're thinking, oh, it's probably just some guys who are like this or some women who are like this, and actually I've been meeting a lot of people that look like they wouldn't even be following me or supporting someone like me. They got a little edge to them, and these guys are coming out and saying, "Hey, man, I really love what you do." And I like that, because the spectrum is growing, and that's important to me, because I do want to be, uh, an inspiration to people who maybe don't have a similar background to me, or maybe come from a different walk of life. You know what I mean? So anyway, that was cool. Uh, I have a friend, and I'm going to switch gears real quick. I have a friend that I am super proud of, man, and I always talk about being a great father and what that means to me, and I share the things that I do. But I have a friend of mine who, I was debating on whether I should mention his name or whatnot, but I'm going to keep his name out just for personal reasons, because I just don't, I didn't tell him I was going to talk about him on this podcast, and I don't want to make him feel uncomfortable. But I have a friend who has been going through some serious stuff with this kid, and uh, custody with the mom, and the mom making things extremely hard for him, to be a father, to be there for his kid. Just constantly making it tough for him to um, to do what he needs to do, and to teach his kid what he needs to teach him as a man. Um, every time he makes progress with them, like, there's something that she does to kind of bring him back, and it's unfortunate. He's a really good dude, and he's been struggling, and a lot of the times when I'm around him, he'll say, "Hey, can you talk to my son? Can you go talk to him? Because I'm always talking to him, and I need to pull back, and he respects you a lot, and if you could talk to him about this or this and that, kind of just see where he's at. Maybe he'll talk to you." So I do that whenever I can. Um, and that means a lot to me when a father tells me or asks me to do that, because um, it means that they're trusting me to speak to their kid, and get information from them, or pass them information that they need, and maybe just get some answers to maybe help him, to get around certain things and navigate with his son, to build a better relationship. That means a lot to me. But my boy did something, and I know if he hears this, he's gonna know I'm talking about him. My boy did something, and he's pushing his he's not 40 yet, but he's close. But he did something that inspired me so much and made me so proud of him. He just recently graduated from college, man. He went back to school and got his degree. And it's such a great example uh, to be his age and to show his son that he is setting the example, doing the work to get better so he can provide a better life for his son. And I had to text him. I said, hey, man, because he graduated this weekend. And I said, hey, I just wanted to tell you that congratulations and good luck today, man. I'm super proud of you. That is such a big accomplishment. I just want to tell you that you got to be so proud, man, and your son should be proud. You're doing a great job, and you're setting a great example for your son. And he said, man, that means a lot to me coming from you. And I gotta tell you, man, it made me look at a lot of things that I need to do with my life, and I do a lot, but I that made me envious, you know, to see a man going through the stuff that he's been going through, and to still, as he's holding down a 9 to 5 and and coaching and raising his son and going through the stuff that he's been going through for custody, he still found a way to continue to go to school and then to graduate and get a degree. Um, and I just can't tell you how much I'm proud of him. And if he's listening, you know who I'm talking about. Man, I mean every word of that, dude. I am 1,000% proud of you, dude. You inspire the hell out of me. And I was just when I seen you share that on Instagram that you were finally graduating, because I know you've been going to school. It it warmed my heart, bro. It warmed my heart uh, because I think more fathers ought to do stuff like that because kids need to see that. You know, they just do. They don't need to see. You know, a lot of parents just harp on their kids like, you need to go to school for this. You need to this. You need to that. I did this. I did that. But you're actually showing firsthand that you're doing that. Uh, and I think that that's important. So my hat's off to you, bro. And I think your son is going to be very proud. And that's a lesson that he's never going to forget. Um, Today, my kids were with their mom, and they were celebrating one of Jaden's best friend's birthdays. So they had a whole day planned. So I had a free day today. So I just said, man, I'm gonna go to church, or I'm gonna go to church online because I didn't have to be at church to help out today. They had someone to help with the videoing. So I said, I worked late last night. I'm gonna stay in. I'm gonna do online church. So I logged in online. Uh, you know, got the message from my pastor. I prayed, did a little stretching, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna work today. So I decided I'm gonna go drive today. You know, it's a holiday weekend. I'm sure it's gonna be super active, and I was right. It was very active, so it was a good day. And I never drive during the day. I usually drive at night. Um, Anyways, I picked up an elderly woman today, and they always give you the notification, hey, this ride is going to be 45 plus minutes or longer. So me, if that's not one of my last rides, I usually will take it because I'm like, yo, this one ride alone will pay for everything. So I took it, and then I drove over to pick this woman up, and she needed some help. She had bad knees, and so I was carrying her luggage and put her in the car. And it was an elderly woman, and we got to talking. And I said, "Where you going today?" And I said, "I know we're going to out by Richmond." Uh, and she's like, "I'm going to see my sister. I haven't seen my sister in almost well, a little over a year and 2 months since the pandemic." And I said, "Really?" She's like, "I'm leaving my house for the first time. I'm fully vaccinated, and I'm just I'm thrilled. I'm packing bags because I'm going to stay with her for 2 weeks, and I haven't been able to see her, and I miss her so much." And I was like, "Wow, so you haven't?" She goes, "No, she's well into her 70s, and she's like, I couldn't leave, I couldn't risk it, so I've had to have my groceries delivered. I've had to, you know." had family members drop off certain things at my door. I just had to be careful, because I'm high risk. And man, talking to her made me realize like that is a lot of time to be gone. That is a lot of time to be in the house. Um, she I think she knew that we didn't share the same opinion with regards to like the mask thing and the vaccination thing and whatnot. But we had a really good conversation. And what I liked about this lady was she's like, I really don't, I don't ever care what people's political background is or how they feel about certain things. She's like, what I care about is conversation. She's like, I just care about people being able to listen to each other and have a conversation and talk without arguing. We don't always have to be from the same backgrounds or agree on the same things politically or religiously or whatever it is. But we can sit and talk and listen and understand. And if we don't agree, we don't have to argue. She's like, I just love having conversations with people of all backgrounds, of all religions, and people who have maybe different political beliefs than I do. And I said, I agree with you. So we got off into a great conversation about her traveling to Europe and how they live. And she's like, people genuinely want the same things. People don't believe in that, but they do. They want peace. They want to have a good living. They want to be able to provide for their family. All of that. We all want the same things. It's just we all don't have the same path to get there. Um, and that's where, and we don't communicate, so we all think, oh, these people want this and that person wants this, and that's not the case. If we talk to each other, we would understand that we all want the same thing. It's just we all going about it the different ways. um I just enjoyed this conversation, man. I really did. And we had an hour and 15-minute drive, and a little longer than normal because of the holiday. But when I got to uh her sister's house, I took her suitcases and I brought it to the front door, and her sister came out. She's like, "Hi, you must be the driver." And I said, "Yeah." I said, your sister's really happy to be here to see you. She's been looking forward to this. She really misses you." And she's like, "Oh, I know. I am so happy to see her." She's like, I told her I want her to stay, and I'm just really glad she's here. She's like, "I'm looking forward to it." She's like, "Thank you so much for getting her here safely." And I said, "No problem." And when I went to help her get out, because she has a cane, she said, I really enjoyed having this conversation with you. She's like, "You're probably the first young man that I've had a very decent conversation with, who isn't so combative about certain ideas and certain things that I may have talked about. You know how to hold a conversation." She was like, and I enjoyed our ride. That was a long ride, but it felt short because of the conversation we had. And I said, I agree with you. It did feel short, right? And she's like, yeah. She goes, anyways, thank you for the ride. She was like, I'm going to tip you. She's like, very generously. She's like, I'd enjoyed that ride. She goes, let me get in and get settled. And I said, no rush. She's like, no, I want to make sure that I do it so I don't forget. She's like, but you will be seeing a tip here shortly. And I said, all right, thank you so much. And that was that. But it just it brought me back to, how this pandemic has affected people differently. Um, and it was hard for me to grasp the fact that she hadn't left the house in a year and 2 months. But I was so happy for her. I was so happy that she was able to see her sister and finally get out of the house, and do that. So yeah, man, that was today. Um, with that being said, I'm gonna dive in, to the and close this thing out with the actual topic of this podcast, and that topic is called surviving you. Um, which is probably, I, you know, I don't think I've said this publicly yet, but I plan on writing a book. That is something that I want to do. I want to write more than one book. I've never written a book. I'm a writer, but I've never actually tried to write a book. But if and when I do, the title is probably going to be called Surviving You. Um, so let's dive in. Uh, you know, oftentimes we go through so much stuff in our lives that it can hinder the way we move going forward. It can hinder. Uh, it can skew our view on certain things in life, and it can make us very skeptical and jaded uh, when things are going too good. To be honest, um, you become your own worst enemy. You expect things to go wrong. You expect failure. You don't believe things that feel good. Like if it feels too good, something's wrong. Something's gonna go wrong here. You question your worth or whether you deserve something so good. You don't feel worthy. You cause problems because of the absence of problems that you're used to. Let me say that again. You cause problems because of the absence of problems that you are used to. I know that last part hits because it hits for me big time. See, we don't find any of this out that I just mentioned until we are in a wonderful situation that we aren't used to. We don't find any of these things out until we're in a situation that's like great and we're just not used to it. Then we start to find these things out. That's when the test comes, and are we really healed from our past? Do we know our worth, and are we as strong as we say we are? Or are we still damaged and about to destroy everything that is happening for us or to us? Do you understand what I'm saying? That may be a little confusing, but I can tell you because I was there. Um, there was a time when I said I never want to be married again. There was a time when I said I don't want any more kids. There was a time when I said I don't ever want to love again because I don't want to feel heartbreak again. There was a time when I said I don't want to ever get married again because I don't want to feel the disappointment of a divorce. I don't want to feel that pain no more. There was a time when I didn't trust anybody with my heart because I knew I am a good man. I just didn't think that I could find a good woman that deserves me being a good man to them. So I block everything out. I said, I'm not going to date. I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to focus on my kids. I'm going to be the best dad ever. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to work out. I'm going to work. I'm going to earn money. I'm going to take care of my kids, and that's it. Everybody else, kick to the curb. I don't trust nobody. I don't want no one around me. I'm not going to give anybody a chance. And I knew that was evident now that I'm saying this, and this wasn't part of the podcast. But now that I say that, I remember, man, I remember, I remember putting up a profile on one of the dating apps, and I remember listing everything that I didn't want in a woman. That, that sounds bananas to say, right? But I remember creating a profile on this dating app and saying everything that I didn't want in a woman. And I remember this very beautiful woman adding me and then starting a conversation. And she was probably, I think, maybe 20, 25 miles away from where I lived. So there was that, and we started talking, and she said, you know, I I really enjoyed your Instagram, but what bugged me was your profile here. She said, because on your Instagram, you're so positive and everything that you're doing. She's like, but your profile here, you said you sounded so angry. You sounded like a man who had been through something and doesn't want to trust anybody, and you listed everything you don't want in a woman when you should be on here saying everything that you would want in a woman and keeping it positive, not looking like you're damaged and looking like you haven't given up on love. But reading all this, it's hard. Like I wanted to just add you and tell you that. She's like, I don't know if that makes you feel offended or whatnot, but I read your profile. I thought you had a great smile, but your profile just, what you put on there killed it. You seem like you don't want to give anybody a chance because there's a couple of things on that list that I'm not, that I am, that you said you don't want in a woman, but I'm great at so many other things. And someone like me, you probably wouldn't give me a shot. And I remember that, and I'm like, damn, she's right. She's right. I, without realizing it, I let everything that I had gone through in my life block me from meeting someone so wonderful, meeting someone who could who could be the one potentially, who could change, my outlook on these things. I blocked it because I hadn't gotten over the things that I had been through. In fact, I carried all that baggage with me, and when I got the opportunity, I displayed it to the world, and she's probably not the only one that felt that way. But now that I'm talking about this, I'm so thankful that this woman did say that. I never met this woman after that because I'm almost positive that that scared her away. I don't even remember her name, but I do remember this conversation. And like I said, this that wasn't part of this my notes in this podcast, but talking about this, it made me realize that yeah, it made me remember that incident happened. Um, we never find out if we're healed. We never find out if we really do know our worth. We never find out if we're as strong and ready to love again until we get the opportunity. And like I said earlier, that's when the test comes. That's what I mean by surviving you. Because you can survive, like I'm still here, right? I'm standing, I'm working, I'm raising my kids, I'm a great father, I'm doing all these things and I'm providing and I'm living my life. I'm healthier than I've ever been. You can survive all that. But can you survive you? Because once you've gotten through all of that and you're still standing, the final test is, can you now survive you? Or are you still damaged? Are you still going to get in your own way? Are you still going to tell yourself, this can't be real? This can't be real. This is too good. Something's going to mess up. I know it. You know what? It's going to mess up. And by the way, before it messes up, I'm going to cancel this. I'm done. I'm going to throw it away because I don't believe it can be this good. Whatever it is you're doing. In my situation, it's a relationship. I I have this gift and a curse with dating runners. When when I finally give in, when I finally say I'm gonna give it a shot, I'm in 100%. It usually ends up being a runner. It's been like that for a long time. Prior to me being married, I remember a few times, you know, giving in to a few different people that were all in. And then I said, okay, I'm all in too. And within a matter of weeks, uh, it was what they call now ghosting. And it was just boom, just take off. Why? Nothing that I did, nothing happened. It was just usually things are too good, this can't be real, this can't be this can't be that, and leave. Boom. And um, that's just been my thing. I don't know, why. Um, and, it's not really for me to understand why. I just got to continue to be the man that I am. I got to continue to grow and continue to be um, the strong, independent father that I've been. Um, I am the happiest I've ever been in my life. Um, my life is, I always say this on Instagram, my life is simple, just the way I like it. I am happy whether I'm with someone or without them. That's how I know I am finally in a good place because I don't need anybody to make me happy. I am happy. Um, but I also would like to share my life with somebody, add them to that equation. Not so they have to do the things that I do, but share my life with somebody. I like what they're doing. I'd like to add that to my equation so we could be doing something great together. And that's where I'm at. Um, and I know you're probably going, man, a couple of podcasts ago, what happened? Something happened. I, a lot has happened, you know. Unfortunately, I've had to just sit back and let the chips fall where they may, because I decided to open my heart. I decided to uh, give, you know, love, give a relationship an opportunity. I decided to do all of that, and I don't, I don't regret any of that. But the person that I was with um, just began to do all the things that you hear me listing in this topic, not knowing whether she deserved things to be so good, not understanding why, um, even though things are great, why uh, it was triggering certain feelings in her, um, and not understanding why uh, she couldn't get herself to want to make it work, um, which was confusing to me because we were in a place. And this isn't a new thing. This is someone that I've known for a while, for over a couple of years. Um, we were in a place, and then in a matter of like, it felt like a blink of an eye. Um, the conversation shifted, and I was kind of like, well, this sounds like something that I can't help with. I'm I'm me. I'm the same person I was, a couple days ago. Um, and unfortunately, this is something that it sounds like you have to deal with. You have to fix. You have to get some understanding about it. Apparently, it's not something I can help with, and I'm not trying to be the guy who's forcing my way in to be like, hey, I can do this. I can't do that. I can't, because I know where I'm at. I know who I am. I know I'm very comfortable with who I am and what I bring to the table. Um, and the disconnect happened, and it just didn't. There was nothing that I can do, and it sucks. Um, but what can you do? You know, you gotta at when things like that happen, you kind of gotta back up. You gotta back off, and you gotta give someone their space, and that's what I've had to do. You know, and being everything that I've gone through over the last going on 5 years now, um, you know, I can tell I'm better, I'm healed, because I'm a lot stronger than I used to be. And although this didn't work out, I I'm not giving up on meeting someone. I'm not giving up on uh, love. I'm not giving up on any of that. It's not made me bitter. Nothing. It definitely sucks, because this is a wonderful person, and I still believe that she's a wonderful person. I just think that there is some things that she has to think about, some things that she has to deal with, that I would love to say that I wish I could help, but I can't. Um, Not really because I don't want to. I would love to, but it's one of those things where it's like, hey, I just need my time. I need to figure this out. But I know that all of this is, for some reason, it's not for me right now, which is super crazy, super crazy. Um, but that's where this topic comes from. Being in your own way, feeling like you don't deserve something great when you know you have something, and it's great. Everybody around you is telling it's great, telling you that it's great. Everybody is happy for you, is ecstatic, and you still feel like, I don't know why I can't allow myself to make this work. I don't know why my mind is messing with me. I don't know why I can't make the connection. I don't know why I can't get over this hurdle. Those are hurdles that we think we got over in the past, and maybe we did, but then we get to a point, like I said, where we're in a better place in life, and then we meet somebody, and then we realize, yeah, we got past those hurdles, but now, can we survive us? Because now I'm having all these conflicting thoughts, and I don't think this is going to work for whatever reason. I don't even have an answer. And we start doubting that we're worth something so great. We start doubting that anything could possibly be this good, and we don't deserve it. Um, I know because I was there. And as much as you would like to be able to point things out and to tell someone that they deserve it and that they're worth it, you can't do that for somebody. They have to do it for themselves. And for someone like me who's I'm used to helping. I love to help people. I always want to help. I want to be the person that people call when they need help or just to talk. I want to be that person that, hey man, I need a ride. Can you come get me? Or, I love helping people. And when you're that way and you're told there's nothing that you can do to help, I need to figure this out. It sucks. I think a lot of us we go through times in our life, especially those of you who are listening who have gone through some very traumatic times, whether it be your childhood, whether it be relationships or anything like that. I think there are so many of us out there that we have a hard time surviving us. And we're never fully going to be healed until we can. Never. I can say that I am okay. I am I'm gonna keep my hat in the game, so to say. I told a friend of mine. I said, I'm not gonna stop dating. I'm gonna date. I'm gonna, you know, keep putting my hat out there and meet people and talk to people and just give it a shot. And I'm gonna see how it goes. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not going to become a hermit and say, okay, I tried. I'm going back to my hole in the wall. I'm not going to do that. So I'm able to say that because now that I've had the situation and it didn't work and I'm okay, I know that I've gotten better. I know that I'm healed and I know that I've survived me because I didn't get nervous um, when it was going really good because I knew I deserved that. I deserve it. I deserve a good relationship. I deserve love. I deserve a good woman. I deserve all the things that come with that. So it didn't make me nervous. In fact, it excited me. I started making plans. I started wanting to do certain things. And man, now, we can do this. I can, have someone to do this with. I can go to a concert with this person. I can do this. I had all these ideas and I was excited. Um, so I know I'm good. Um, and I've survived me, which says a lot because I've come a long way. If any of you are going through this right now and you're listening, give yourself a shot. Don't be so hard on yourself. Give yourself the opportunity to be open to something good, something that feels great. And on the flip side, if it doesn't feel great, um, if all the signs are there that it's going to fail, shut it down. But if you've been through a lot of stuff and you're not used to things being great, get back on the horse, give it a shot. Because everybody deserves to be happy. Everybody deserves it. Everybody deserves love. Everybody deserves the opportunity to get back on that horse and get back in the race again. All right? I hope you enjoyed this episode. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful night. This has been episode 37 of the Perfect Mess Podcast, Surviving You. And as always, you can follow me on Instagram at It's Ray Molina. The podcast Instagram is The Perfect Mess Pod. And my website, as always, is raymolina.com. For those of you who'd like to donate, it's not a requirement. I'm doing just fine by word of mouth. But if you would like to donate, and some of you have, I use Cash App. You can send any donations there. It's $ It's Ray Molina. And like I always say, my life isn't perfect. Oftentimes it's a mess, but it's my mess. And for me, it is a perfect mess. I love you. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. God bless. Peace.
Perfect mess is my perfect mess. Perfect mess is my perfect